Good evening. I'm Peter Shoemaker, class of 1986. And in 2005, I was one of the proud recipients of the Penn's highest award, the Alumni Award of Merit. Before continuing the presentation, I'd like everyone in the audience who is a past recipient of this award to please stand up so we can recognize them with a round of applause. Each year, Penn Alumni solicits nominations for the Alumni Award of Merit through a formal request through the Penn Gazette in our electronic newsletter, The Red and Blue Online. I am honored to chair Penn Alumni's Award and Resolutions Committee, which must choose from among many impressive candidates who deserve recognition in perpetuity for extraordinary and longstanding service to Penn. There are student awards of merit as well, which are presented in May at Ivy Day, and we have some past winners in attendance, as well as some senior honor awards winners with us this evening. Congratulations to all our 2010 honorees, and thank you for your exceptional efforts on behalf of Penn. Lee?
Thank you, Peter, and thank you for the extraordinary work you do leading this committee. So we will now present the awards. And I will say that the first award is a very bittersweet one. When the Awards and Resolutions Committee met in 2009, they unanimously voted to appoint Lenny Shapiro, the recipient of the 2009 Alumni Award of Merit. I called Lenny. He was thrilled with the news. But he did ask that would we mind postponing it for a year when he was hopeful that he would feel better. Unfortunately, fate didn't cooperate, and tragically, Lenny passed away from his illness this summer. And the world lost a great man, and Penn lost one of its most ardent and loyal supporters. I would now like to call up his wife, Leslie Shapiro, and his daughter, also a Penn alumna, Ali Shapiro Cudby, to the stage. I am going to read a section of the citation. Leonard Shapiro lives in our memories as a man of high energy, great warmth and humor, and an abiding love for Penn. He was much loved in return. From the start, Lenny plunged exuberantly into college life as a swimmer, golfer, basketball player, mask and wigger, and vice president of the Sigma Alpha Mu fraternity. From 1997 to 2006, Lenny served as both a university trustee and as an overseer of the Graduate School of Education, terms that overlapped with his years as president of Penn Alumni. During that time, he charged himself with opening up lines of communication between volunteers in other parts of the country and the Penn leadership and Penn Alumni staff on campus. In addition to his role as president of Penn Alumni, he served on the Alumni Council of Admissions, the Awards and Resolutions, the Communications and Nominating Committees, while still finding time to travel around the country, cultivating and mentoring alumni leaders. And I count myself in that crowd. He was a tremendous mentor to me as well. Lenny was a generous donor, especially to the Department of Music, where he and his wife Leslie were inspired by their son Teddy's success as a successful composer to establish the Leonard I. Shapiro Music Performance Fund. In addition, he created the Leonard A. Shapiro Trustee Scholarship and contributed to athletics and the Graduate School of Education. In 2007, he was recognized by President Amy Gutmann for the Mayrob Scholarship Initiative. With vivid memories of the joy he took in every festive Penn occasion, and knowing how much he would have delighted in this one, join us as we proudly and gratefully recognize our dear friend, Leonard Shapiro, with the 2010 Alumni Award of Merit.
Thank you so much. And first, I want to thank the University of Pennsylvania so much for making this award available to Lenny posthumously. It's difficult for me to believe that I'm even saying those words. I also want to say that I think our finest result from Penn was your double degree, a double degree for my daughter, Allie. So, okay. I watched Lenny having a love affair, and I approved. It took him away from us sometimes, and of course this lover was Penn. He just was so proud of being here. He loved it. He just loved every minute of it. The Pride of Palestra book that you all sent is one of our coffee table centerpieces. Everything that had to do with Penn. From as long as I can remember, it was all Penn all the time. And we have a long history. Lenny would love to tell of the long history that we had at University of Pennsylvania. We had 10 relatives, we had 20 relatives, we had 40 relatives, I don't know. But he'd love to talk about that. I got so many notes of condolence of people who were Penn connections, and that was really so heartening. And if I took them all and I lined them up and I took the most prevalent words in it, it was fun, and it was bigger than life. And somebody said to me tonight, Lenny was so down to earth, and he was. He clung to his down to earthness. God forbid anybody should think he had done something pretentious. He would hate that. This Board of Trustees, the Board of Trustees was a culmination of his involvement at Penn. He would be so thrilled to know that he did know that this was going to happen, and I sort of hope that he's smiling down on us and taking this in. So, I also wanted to say, Lenny's sister is here in the audience, Phyllis, and his 97-year-old with-it mother is listening. She's going to get a disc of this in Florida. She couldn't make it up here, but 97 years old, pretty good. So, on his behalf, and from the bottom of my heart, I thank you all so much for this award for my husband. And now I'd like to have my daughter.
On the first day of my tenure at Penn, the first day of my freshman year, Dad took me down to Hutchinson Gym to get my student ID. And when we were done, we walked by the Palestra, and it was open. And it was empty, but for the banners hanging, Ivy League on one side, Big Five on the other. And in the silence of the Palestra, there was this echo of history, of everything that Penn meant and all of the people who came before. And it was this really incredible father-daughter moment in which we were sharing not only Penn, but the impact of the fact that I was following in his footsteps at Penn. And while that was a great moment for me and my dad, it also represents so much of what is great about Penn, because it is those connections and those relationships that make it all so special. When we come back to campus, we're connected to the people here. And even when there are no familiar faces, we're connected to the campus itself, to its buildings and our experiences. That's what makes up the shared history of this great university. Dad did know that he was going to be honored with the Alumni Award of Merit, and it meant so much to him. It meant so much that Penn, that he loved so well, chose to honor him in that way. For me, for my family, I thank you, not just for tonight, but for all of the joy that Penn brought Dad over the years. And also, and maybe most importantly, for this sense of place. Because forever, when I visit Penn, and certainly whenever I visit the Palestra, I will be connected with my dad. And that means everything. Thank you so much.